64-bit legends. Welcome.
Legend of the game, like GoldenEye, I'm more than right.
Yeah.
The perfect dark is dreams that seem to come to life. 64-bit, the shit, it's as real as it
Yeah.
gets. We can
Yeah.
talk sports, games, and music, take your pick. Point with the news, pull up and crack a brew. Smoke one with the crew,
Smoke.
tune in and take a view.
Watch.
We here to raise the bar from the lowest mark. Sit your ass down and listen, it's time for the show to start.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the 64-bit Legends. I am Bobby Caboose, as always, looking for that hot tag. Is Melvin Troy.
Coming in. I'm coming in hot. We're cracking this bad boy open.
All right.
We're going to get deep inside.
We're deep inside of what?
The
vagina of life?
Yes.
All
We're
right.
gonna dig in deep. Balls deep, as some may say. And that's just a piece of metal.
All right.
It's just a piece of metal.
I got scared, man. The whole thing almost came crashing down.
It's all right. Sometimes things come crashing down and it hurts inside.
It does. I like that lyric. We're all real Americans.
Better be, goddammit.
So what? Last episode we talked about we dug deep dive into Corpse Smoke.
Big. And by the way, big sensation.
Yeah.
I talked about it on stream afterwards to hype up the episode. People are loving Corpse Smoke.
Yeah, dude.
People can't get enough. I think that there's going to be a legitimate resurgence of Corpse Smoke into 2024.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, I think the Beatles or Michael Jackson had like resurgence.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Michael Jackson after he died.
Yep.
Corpse Smoke's still with us.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But he might be still raping little Susie. Who knows?
Maybe. We did find out at the time he was uploading vlogs to his YouTube channel, and he was in Australia.
Oh.
And I didn't.
All right.
I forgot to show you this.
That is news to me.
I've got another piece of little news here for you. We found this, and I forgot to show you this. Let's see if I can bring up the video and the audio for you. Let's look up Corpse Smoke into the YouTube.
Is there a music video?
Even better.
All
we
right.
have a live performance, and you even may recognize some people in this.
Oh, God.
Take a look at this. I'm going to load this up full screen. You can see this, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Now, it happens quick, but let's just take a quick look. Is it playing? Why isn't it playing? We can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear
Why
it.
can't
but I
we
can
hear it?
Visually see it.
I don't know. Okay, that's not it. That's not what we want. What we want. Oh. Here, wait.
Oh.
So I want to show you this because the audio is important.
Okay.
Looks like there's an issue with the settings. Yeah, let's just fix that and let's get into the board settings here. I'm going to mute this.
Was there a
channel.
favorite hit on stream from Corpse Smoke?
Yes, there was. There was the big one. My penis is bleeding.
Okay.
Big deal.
That's
Huge
a banger.
deal. Yes. And also, the Eisenhower High School sucks my penis.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
See, I was thinking it was walking down the street and you see a little girl, boner.
I would think that, but yeah, honestly, it was it wasn't so much that at all. No, that's still going. Let's see. Hold on a sec. We're gonna fix this.
So how did you end up finding this video then?
We were talking about this. We were talking about this on the stream, and I was pulling up pulling up the songs, and then somebody linked me to the actual YouTube video, and it was definitely a sight to be seen for sure. And I'm trying to
I'm so curious.
load this in here, but I'm having trouble.
I've seen Corpse Smoke live.
Well, I know you have. Yes, that is very true. So there we go. Fixed it. Nope, I didn't. Whatever's going on there is still. We have. Isn't that great? This is what I wanted to show you. Listen to this remix.
It's nice,
Isn't this
man.
remix the best?
Yeah.
Isn't this the All right, well, I'm just going to show you the video, and then you can just see it on your
All
own.
right.
Because I don't know what happened here, but there was massive updates across the board, and something isn't working. So this is My Penis is Bleeding video
Okay.
on the Peter Litvin channel
All right.
from 15 years ago. Now, it starts off,
Oh.
and it's a live performance from this is well before 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But I want you to see when they do a crowd shot.
Oh, man.
Look, I don't know who this guy is.
I don't either, but I know who that guy is.
Yeah, look in the background just a little bit. I want you to look.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. That's Dr. Derek.
This guy.
And yeah.
Let's watch. I'm gonna see if I can scooch ahead frame by frame.
Man, I look young as well, not that guy, but
Yeah. That's you right there. And then there's also another familiar face. This guy, of course, this fellow over here. And then look at this guy who's missing. No one's heard from him ever since.
one in an Oster.
And I believe this guy, I think...
Is that the red ant?
That is not the red ant. Wait, maybe... Is it the red ant?
I
Hold
think
on a
it's the
second.
red ant.
I wish this fucking asshole wasn't in the way. But
Who did you think it was?
I thought it was a guy that, like, came to our school when he didn't go to that school.
Okay. It could be.
Because I think this guy is an ex-friend of both of ours.
Yes. Okay.
And I know those two
Yeah.
were close back then.
Yeah.
And then, but when here's the thing. Looking at this video, and unfortunately, you guys can't see it, but
This guy's face.
what tipped me off of the people in the background
Was the pie haircut?
that guy.
Yeah. The pie
When
hair,
I saw
dude.
that, I was like, wait a minute. No way. And I sat on stream and we talked about, like,
So did anyone on stream know that was me?
I pointed out it was
Okay.
you. I did say it was you. I was like, this is, but I didn't recognize you at first because you don't have any hair on. You have a hat covering, it's kind of the, it was when the curve bill was more the thing. But yeah, I think that's basically it, though.
I like how Dr. Derek looks over my shoulder. like
Yeah.
look at him peek.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "What's going on over there?"
But this
Look
is,
at him. That's great.
this is from probably 2000. This has got to be almost 20 years ago.
That's got to be 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is almost 19 to 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's got to be 2003 or 2004.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which is, it's fucking nuts that as we were talking about this, we find it.
I'm skinny as fuck.
Yeah, everybody was. This is, well, except for that guy. That guy was a little chubby.
That pie hair.
Yeah.
Oh god. That's a good find. That is a good find.
I just wish this fucking guy
I
wasn't
know.
in there. But I guess the guy filming probably is not really focused on this group.
Right.
He has no interest in that at all.
And that's why the pie hair and Dr. Derek keep looking over there, I think.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's it. It's so great that this came full circle.
Yeah.
That we were able to come across that. So anyway, I know it took a little longer than expected to get through, but I think the reveal was worth it.
No, it was. Go check out Corpse Smoke on YouTube. You can see me as a 15 or 16-year-old.
Yeah, it was crazy to see that. Anyway, so that's what we have, but that's not what we're talking about today.
No.
We're not talking about Corpse Smoke. We spent a lot of time on Corpse Smoke. We'll of course revisit him down the road, maybe. But right now we're here to talk about something very important.
Yeah. So we've grown up a lot since our first episode. We help people out all the time.
Yep.
We talked about love and relationships, and we try to improve all of that.
Yep.
Right. And we helped out Miss Kelsey.
Yep.
A couple episodes ago, talking about the contract that she had to sign, and she's now over that relationship and needed a night out. So she, what better night out than to come hang out with the 64-bit legends in our environment and make her feel comfortable. She, came out with the whole contract. We went through it. Today, there's been something surfacing around the internet, going viral, of a list, right? It's not a contract, it's a list. But it's a list of places you shouldn't take a first date.
I think I've heard something about this. And as somebody who's currently single, I could tell you that the first date options, they're not, in my opinion, before we even talk about the list of first, because this is what? A list of first date.
Okay, so it's here. This is what the heading says, I guess.
Yeah.
Here is a list of places women absolutely refuse to go on a first date, and thank you to the ladies who reached out to help me make the list.
And this is fantastic because they're doing a great service, because all the women that compiled this list and said that they will not go there, thank you so much, because I'm going to use every one of those locations as a place to take a first date.
Absolutely.
Because I know that if you're against anything on that list, now I may be putting the cart in front of the horse because there may be some bad options, but I'm going to stick to this. My opinion, first date, it's a risky move in general.
It is.
You don't know what you're going to get. And nowadays with like online dating, sometimes the person doesn't even look like the person you saw online.
Right. But the thing is, too, is like most of the time, I'm going to say 98% of the time, you have talked to this person before, whether it's either on text, phone call, dating site. It's not like blind dates are a thing of the past, right? You're not like, hey, I got this hot Asian girl that has a hot friend. Let me hook you up with her. You guys can just go to fucking dinner.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to talk first, right?
Yeah,
just to see
of
if, there's anything, get name, a little bit of a background. But I wanted to go through this list and see if, myself or you would actually take a girl to these places.
Yeah.
And to kind of go through and see, if it's a good first date idea.
I'm gonna open up a little bit of a notepad here real quick, and I wanna make a note of any of them. I wanna see if there's any that I'll be like, yeah, that is a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I want to see what
will
the
be.
actual list is like, because I'm gonna be honest. I'm a simple person. I am not going super extravagant for a first date.
Right.
Unless I've already have a good rapport with them. Here's my example that I'll give. This is probably the most all out I did on a first quote unquote first date.
Yeah.
There was a girl that I had met. I was actually with you. This is a while ago. And
we went on a first date together?
No, but you were there when I first met her. She was friends with Horseface.
Yeah, Horseface.
This is
Horseface Killer.
Yeah, so this is when I was dating Horseface's friend. And
who, just to make it clear, was not a Horseface.
The friend was not a Horseface. The girl I dated was not Horseface.
Horseface was the friend.
Yeah.
And the girl that you dated was not a horse or didn't have a horse type face.
No, none of that.
We're just making it clear.
Yes. I don't date horse faces. We don't.
Or horses.
Nothing against them. If you have a horse face, it's fine.
Yeah.
But that says I'm just not my thing.
Right.
Some
you
people
gotta bark up someone else's barn.
Yeah.
Or nay.
Yeah, that's what I say. If you have a horse face, I say nay to that.
Yes, exactly. Just like Duncan Smith's the Pony Brony.
Yeah. So we had been out with them a few times at the bar. Like that's how I met them, and then a few times I had met them there. And I think like we were there with them on like New Year's. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, "Hey, I'm going to take you out on a proper date."
Yes.
And so I actually went to a fancy restaurant. It's this fancy Italian restaurant called Maggiano's.
I like Maggiano's.
It's good, but I'm curious if it would land on that list because it is a chain restaurant.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not a. It's a chain along the lines of like a Ruth Chris, where it's fancy, but it's a chain. You go to like a bunch of them, And I think all in, I was just like, you know what? We're just going to have a great dinner. Whatever you want to get. Hey, want to get some wine? We're going to do and I think it was all in like over $100.
Okay.
A little over $100. But I was like, I was willing to spend it because I already had a vibe.
All right.
I found you attractive. We've already kind of been out together, but not as like at a date.
You might have made out with her before or
Yes.
kissed her or something.
Yeah. So we were already kind of over all of that anyway.
Feeling her up in the booth.
Yeah, maybe. So at the end of the day, but that was the only time first day I've ever kind of dropped money like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's got to be chill.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to like a simple place so I can talk to you
Right.
and understand who you are and if I vibe.
Right. So the plan is, I kind of want to go through, each thing on the list,
Yeah.
and we can either make an argument for it or against it, and just see if you would take a girl to one of these places. So the first place on the list is somewhere that I've never been. Maybe
Okay.
you have. Is the Cheesecake Factory.
I have been there.
Have you been? You've been there.
I've been there.
So I thought it was like more of like a kind of a fancy thing.
It is more of an upscale place because it's not cheap.
Right.
And it's actually one of the few restaurants I've ever been to. And I was with a girl. I was actually with a few girls.
Playa.
Yeah,
Was it Big Red?
No.
Okay.
But it's a similar circle.
Okay.
And I remember because it was expensive and our service was so bad, I actually had to do I need to speak to your manager thing.
Ooh.
Like I actually had to because it was.
But you
it
weren't
was
on
bad.
a date. I mean, you weren't on a one-on-one date.
No,
So-
but if I was, it would have been way worse.
Yeah.
Like that would have been. But it is an upscale. So if I took someone to Cheesecake Factory, that's a good attempt.
Yeah.
That's a solid attempt.
See, that's what I thought because
Yeah.
like I said, I've never been there, but I know it's a little bit of scale. I know
Yeah.
it's a little pricey, but like for that to be the number one thing on the list, I mean, I don't know if this is any kind of order,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for that to be the first thing, I mean, like shit, I would take a girl there, and if she looked at me different, I'd be like, okay, well, this isn't gonna work out anyway.
Yeah.
But so that's the first thing. The second one is this one's a little worse. All right, Applebee's. Their food fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Unless it's some kind of deal where it's half off appetizers or something. I'm not paying full price at an Applebee's.
Yeah.
Or if they have dollar margaritas.
Yeah. Well, and they also right now have these buckets of just straight up rum for
Yeah.
like $10.
Right.
They're kind of turning into they don't want to be like a bar.
Yeah.
But they kind of want to have that.
Applebee's
element.
is like a high school date. Like if
Yeah.
you like, or like a non-21, maybe even if you're 21, like if you got no money, you go to Applebee's.
So here's the thing. When we talk first date, there's different kinds of first dates. And I think this is where people are getting confused with. Where there's the first date of, I really don't really know you. We haven't really spent any time in person with you type
Yeah.
of thing. Maybe it's been online, but it's, that's still not the same.
Right.
Or maybe I met you briefly at one place and then we texted and then, If it's something like that, the level of investment is always going to be low because you don't know. What if all of a sudden you realize like, oh my God, this person's a disaster.
Right.
Like you don't want. So in that case, if you're very hesitant, and Applebee's I think is fair because it's just a meetup spot.
Right.
It's simple. You get something light to eat. It's nothing crazy. You have a drink. They have drinks there.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. You can get an appetizer if you'd like.
Appetizer. Yeah. Appetizer.
That's simple enough. You could just pick at it.
All you
pressure.
can eat riblets sometimes. All you can eat wings sometimes.
And honestly, I feel for the girl it's good because the investment's low, so there's not that pressure of, is he going to try to make a move on me right
Yeah.
away? Is he going to expect something? So
Do I have to suck his dick after this?
yeah, like if you're a girl, guy takes you on a date like that, low pressure. He better not be expecting a goddamn thing. Thank God is the way it should go. Or if you're really into that dude, you're thinking like, oh, this is low pressure. Maybe the ball's more in my court. I gotta go. Anyway, so I know that's like the first one. The second one.
Well, no, but that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we got to deep dive these things.
Okay.
The next one is similar to an Applebee's.
Yeah.
It's Chili's. Chili's, I feel like, is a little step up. It's the
Yeah.
same fucking thing, but I personally like Chili's better
Yeah.
because you get the 3 for $10. You actually get a quite a bit of meal, like food for that. If you get I used to get the fucking chicken crispers, right? You get 2 sides with that. You get a drink and you get an appetizer. That's a lot of shit for $10.
Yeah.
Then you want to do the 2 for $22 or whatever the fuck. Then
Well, and here's the
it's balling on a budget.
Well, there's that, but also let's keep in mind first date. This is the way I approach a first date. I don't know if anyone else does this. Is we need to find a spot, an excuse to meet up. So a place like a Chili's, even an Applebee's. I'm surprised that Cheesecake Factory is put on the list because I think Cheesecake Factory is more upscale than both.
Right,
those.
same.
But
I think it's just cliche, maybe.
Maybe, but whatevs. Like if I'm going to a Chili's, Applebee's, I can get a vibe. We can spend our time talking.
Yeah.
And then the idea is if we're really hitting it off, we go somewhere else.
Right. And that's the thing too. That's that you hit it on the head, dude. Like it's somewhere you can sit there and chill way after your meal is done because how busy does a fucking Applebee's or Chili's get?
Right.
Like, you're not taking up a table at a Ruth Chris,
right?
Where they're like, man, like you're spending $150 and then they want you out so that the next person can fill your seat,
right?
Type thing. Like you can just sit there and talk. But like, yeah, I prefer Chili's over Applebee's, but it's kind of same diff. The next one, I would never take a girl on the first date.
Okay.
They got Chipotle. Like, I've never heard of someone taking someone on a date to Chipotle. Like, even if you like, that one is just kind of ridiculous. Like, what are you gonna fucking build your burrito and talk and then fucking shit your brains out?
Yeah, Chipotle's a risky move because of the digestion issues. You don't want to have... That's another thing. Here's a lesson for everybody. If you're on a first date and you're eating any food, eat basic food. You don't want anything risky because you never want to have like, oh my God, I have severe diarrhea in the middle of this.
Nice grilled chicken.
Yes. Especially even if you end up back at one of your guys' places or anything like that for whatever reason. All of a sudden now it's like, oh, let me go blow out the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants that.
And eat light. Like you don't have to fucking order like a bunch of shit. Like I think I did. But anyway, don't order a bunch of shit. Maybe leave some on your plate.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're going to do an activity after. If it's going well, you don't want a full stomach. You don't, like you said, you don't want to be blowing up someone's bathroom or having to stop at 7-Eleven and be like, hey, I got to fucking take a dump before we go play putt-putt or whatever the fuck you're going to do next.
Well, also, it depends on the time of day because there's been times I've done first dates, especially if it's online, and I don't mind it because it's even more low pressure, where it's in the day. If it's in the day, like late afternoon, not quite evening, it's not like... I will choose any of those.
Yeah.
Because you can sit, you can eat a little something, and then you're gone. I'll never forget there was one, I met her on Tinder or something, and this is when we were at the other house.
Yeah.
And she was already she was running late. Fine. That's not super important to me.
Right.
Whatever.
Because you're always late, so.
Well, I was on time for this.
You're on tea time. And that means Trammell time or Tea the Monster time.
Yeah.
And,
Well, anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm like, no worries. And so I was like, you know what? You're going to be another 15 minutes. I'm just going to order a little something to eat for myself. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day.
Yeah.
I figured this is a low pressure thing.
Right.
I ordered a little quesadilla for myself. Just a simple little. So I eat that. And then I'm already done by the time I walk in. I'm like, hey, do you want to get something? I just ate a little something. But if you want to. No problem. She was super negative. This is the one where I said the word retarded.
Ooh.
And she was like, but I wasn't calling her retarded. She was talking about how she lived with like one of her roommates was like a younger cousin of hers, and she was kind of annoyed at the way they're acting. And I'm like, they're young, it's like they were in like their early 20s. She was in her late 20s. I'm like, listen, I remember, when I was that age, I was kind of retarded. So it's like, what are you going to do? Like, it wasn't anything. And I remember she stopped and she was like, don't ever fucking say that. And I was like, what?
See, there's like with something like that, because I know like one of my friends, she can't stand the word retarded either. But she just respectfully is like, hey, do you mind if you don't say that around me?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Not a problem. I'll try to watch my mouth. But yeah, when you're like, don't ever.
Yeah.
Ever. ever fucking say that again around me, that's when I'm gonna be like, all right, fucking retard, get the fuck out of here.
Well, and then all she did was complain the entire day about her life, and she just had this negative demeanor. And I remember when I got up from the table to walk out, and then we said our goodbyes, I kind of like sprinted to the car. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
I'm out.
This girl's a mess.
I'll text you.
Yeah.
The next one. So that was Chipotle.
Okay.
I think we can both agree that we're
Yeah,
not. That might go on the list.
I'm gonna put that on the list here. Chipotle, definitely.
Chipotle gonna blow up your butthole.
I would put
fucking
this
do it.
if Five Guys is on there. I put that right up there with Five Guys.
It is not, but there might be other things that's
all right.
comparable. The next one, again, I've done this, and I would probably do it again.
Yeah.
Is Olive Garden. I know it's
Olive Garden's good.
and I know it's not real Italian food or whatever the fuck people have. Dude, but it's good. It's mildly priced.
Yeah.
It's a good atmosphere. It's like the waitresses and waiters, like they dress up like it's like But I did take a girl to Olive Garden, and we're sitting there. We went for lunch, and two older women sat next to us, and we were in like one of those like tables that like the booth runs long, so like you get a section of the booth and then like a chair on the other side.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? And so she's sitting on the booth. Well, the older woman next to us that was also sitting on the booth decided to remove her shoes and was like sitting like with like on like almost on her legs, so her feet were up on the booth.
Yeah.
And we had to look at that the entire time. So,
well, that's what you get at an Olive Garden. I mean, you're gonna get a mixed bag.
shout out to Warren Olive Garden.
Well, yeah, and it's also the Olive Garden Warren. If you went to the one out here, it's probably a lot better. But I mean, it's honestly, I feel that's a step up from a Chili's or an Applebee's for sure.
Same.
You can get wine, you can get alcohol, you can have
Calamari, you can split it.
Yeah,
You can,
the food. The food is gonna be. It's not like top tier quality, but the food that they have, it's like a step above fast food where the quality has to be good because there's so many chains.
Right.
They can't get you sick.
right.
The lawsuits would be insane if they
Right.
did that. So they
Endless soup bowls.
Yeah.
Soup and bread. Come on.
You got salad. Anything
Yeah.
you want is there. I don't know. If that was with a girl and I was like, hey, I'm thinking if you want to go to dinner. Because here's the other thing. We're not just doing dinner. We're going to do dinner and something else.
Right.
So the idea of dinner is we can talk a little bit. We can have a little food, something simple. And then we go do whatever. We see a concert or whatever the thing.
We're not only doing that unless it goes very bad.
Yes.
And with Olive Garden, you can't go wrong with the tour of Italy. It's filling, but it's not necessarily going to fuck up your stomach.
Yeah.
So you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. I think Olive Garden is a great first date.
It's
especially,
a perfect date.
Again, especially if you're balling on a budget. Like, it's a nicer restaurant, like you said, than Chili's or Applebee's. It's a little bit of step up. At least the wait staff looks nice. At least the the presentation of it is fine.
I have a feeling that girls that are saying this
Are bougie as fuck.
Yes, because here's the other problem. If I start you out at even a Maggiano's, which is probably, some of these women would probably bitch about that. If I started you out there, you're going to expect that.
You're right.
And then what do I got to do when it's something special?
Yeah.
Now I got to go beyond that, way, way beyond.
Yeah.
Like, so it sounds
Brazilian
like
steakhouse or some shit.
Yeah, so it sounds like if you're bitching about some of these options, I understand Chipotle. That's a step above a McDonald's.
Right.
Like all right, I get you there. But an Olive Garden, if you're bitching about that and you're wanting more than a Maggiano's for an Italian restaurant, then it sounds like you're using this as a way to vet income.
Right.
And I'm sorry if you're trying to shake the gold digger narrative, you're doing a bad job of it. I don't know what to tell you.
Or at least I can get a good meal out of it. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah.
The next one.
Sorry,
is,
I'm. You can't afford your own grocery bill. This is how you have to survive.
get that OnlyFans get up.
Yeah.
So the next one is like the typical old school fucking date is the movies. And I get it and I don't get it because the movies, obviously you can't talk during the movie.
Yeah.
But if you're going to see a movie on your first date, that shouldn't be the only thing.
Right.
And you know, it depends on like if you want to go see the movie first, and then go somewhere after for like drinks or something or food, then you can at least talk about the movie,
Right.
and have something to talk about if the conversation goes dry. The other way, you can go to dinner or something before the movies and then go see the movie.
This is, in my experience, if I do a movie date, and I've done some good ones, they've done, because that's the problem with the movie. You can't talk.
Right.
So that can't be the main event. And I don't like to do, I made the mistake of you do some dinner. I think we went to I remember this one in particular. We went to a Ruby Tuesdays. I don't know if this was a first date necessarily, but this was an early date. It was a Ruby Tuesdays, which is in the ballpark of everything we're talking about, especially at the time. Might be worse now. I don't know. I don't know if they still exist.
It's compatible to an Applebee's or Chili's.
But at the time, it was compatible with the rest of them. And we went and saw a movie, either it was like Anchorman 2 or something. Somewhere around that time frame. And something light and fun. Side note, there was one movie date I did where she wanted to go see Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, not a good move.
She wanted to watch that.
I know.
We had sex after that. It was it worked out well. But
I guess. That's
it should have been the tip off.
Yeah.
And there's quite
Well, the first date I ever the first date I ever went on, my first ever date was to the movies, and I think I told the story where, you know, we didn't know what to see, and I didn't have my license at the time, so she had to drive, and so we're looking to pick out the movie at her house, and we went and saw the second Matrix movie. Yeah. And I asked her, I was like, well, I never saw the first one. Like, is that going to be okay? And she's like, oh, yeah, you'll be fine. Dude, within like 2 minutes of the movie, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And like, I never watched any Matrix's movie before that or after that. I was just so turned off because I'm like, dude, I'm so fucking lost.
So there was I did that with there wasn't a date, but I remember doing that with the second Austin Powers movie. I never saw the first one.
Yeah, but so at least that one is, you know, it stands alone.
Yeah, true. But anyway, so what I was going to say, the best combo really is to do a light dinner, something along the lines of everything that we've talked about on that list minus Chipotle.
Yeah, because you're going to be shitting during the movie.
Yeah, you don't want that. Then you go see a movie. Ideally a light movie, but if they're requesting, I always give them the option.
Yeah.
Because I remember that date when I told it was the big movies that were out at the time was, I just listed it off, and it was like, it was a Mission Impossible. There wasn't a lot to choose from.
Right.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and like something else. And she was like, oh, I want to see that. And I'm like, all right. There's you understand there's some rape in that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's.
I mean, it's up Corpse Smoke's alley.
Yes. And she was all game for it. I was like, all right. This is what you want. But anyway, you go see the movie, and then you go for drinks afterwards. It's all, but it's a long day.
Yeah.
But you can get a lot done in that.
Right.
As long as but you can tell if it's not either one of you, if you're not vibing,
right,
you have a lot of areas you can bail on.
Right.
You know, you'll know by the end of the movie, because then you just say, hey, we want to go get some drinks. And then as a guy, you got to have a few spots already in mind.
Right.
You go there, boom. You know, everybody's happy. So anyway, so that's movies. You can't do it alone.
Right.
But in combination of all these, it's a good thing.
Yeah, but like I said, like the movie, especially with something afterwards, at least you can talk about the movie if you're struggling to find common ground on anything. So the next one is more of a a younger generation from us. Mm-hmm. His goal would be just your house. Netflix and chill type shit.
That's a little.
Well, it just says your house. So like, hey, come over. Like that's more of like I think a Tinder hookup thing.
Yeah.
Not really. I wouldn't really consider that a date, but
I'm gonna give you my. I'm gonna say your house is bad.
Yeah.
Here's why. And I used to not be this guy, but I'm not. I was never a hey, why don't you just come by my house on a first date anyway. Maybe if the date's going very, very well at the end, you could come by for a drink or something.
Fatal attraction, dude.
Well,
they know where you live.
There's that.
I thought that's where you were going to go.
No, I was going to go a little deeper in that. So I remember I had spoke to a lawyer not long ago about this. And technically, if you invite someone to their home and they just refuse to leave, doesn't matter if it's just for the evening.
Yeah.
You're stuck with them.
Right.
That's it. There's nothing you can do. And I'm just going to be honest. There's a lot of homeless sexuals out there. There's a lot of them. And you don't know what you're getting into. And if they just decide, that's an extreme example, but if they decide that they don't want to leave, you're stuck with them until you can evict them.
Yeah, this girl that I'm talking to now does not want to leave ever.
Yeah, see,
and I'm
that's...
like, dude, you got to get the fuck out of here.
You got to be careful. You might have a homeless sexual with you. That's
yeah.
That's what they call those.
I didn't get that at first, and I was like, you just bring a bunch of gays back? Or
No,
like, don't you see a picture of this girl first?
No, homeless. They could happen to also be the other,
but yeah, that would be a weird first date. Like,
yes.
Hey, come over and we can play a board game or something.
I got to know you for 30 days prior before I can invite you over.
Little probationary period.
Yeah, there's a probationary. I'll go to your place, but otherwise, yeah, you got 30 days before I can trust you here.
The next one, and I actually agree with this again. It's up there with Chipotle. It's any fast food chain.
Yeah,
if you're
you
like,
can.
I mean, even first dates in like high school or broke college kids, they don't take girls or vice versa to fucking
right.
McDonald's.
No, that's
like, if you want to do like after a couple dates or whatever, or if the person is coming over, like, hey, do you want to just pick up some fast food and go back to my place type thing? That's perfect, but that's after you get to know them, after you went out a couple times. But
and if you're gonna do that, you might as well DoorDash it,
right?
Because that puts a little bit more of like, because it costs a little extra. There's a convenience factor,
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to have to be dragging them through the drive-through.
Yeah, the only exception I would think for that is if you went and got like a fast food like milkshake or something, walked around a park or something.
Oh yeah, that
some
would be
shit like that,
like a dessert.
Like a combo type thing. But yeah, you're not gonna go in, looking at Ronald McDonald's fucking ass while you're sitting in the fucking lobby of a McDonald's with the play pit right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and if your date's able to go into the play pit, then you have a real problem on your hands. You need to get out of there.
Yes.
Okay?
We're not talking little Susie over here.
Yeah, you're being set up, bro. You're being set up.
Take a seat.
Yeah.
The next one is actually the last place that I went on a date, is Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, this wasn't a first date, but I like Buffalo Wild Wings. It's one of those places that, like, it is a chain restaurant, but like they have good food.
And honestly, depending where you're at, it's also just a decent area for drinks.
Right.
So again, same example. Girl I took to see Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, right? We went to we went to like a restaurant similar to some of the ones we've listed here.
Yeah.
Saw the movie. After the movie, got drinks. The only thing that was convenient to go to was a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
And so that's where we got our drinks at. Again, I don't think it's bad. I think a Buffalo Wild Wings, in my opinion, has to also be like the movies. It has to be in connection with something else.
Right.
It can't be.
But if you're, like you said, like if you're sitting there, you eat dinner, you decide to have a couple drinks there, and like that's it. Like if you're there for like 3 hours because you had a couple drinks, like that's fine.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's very simple. And as far as like going and just getting drinks, because I think a first date, if you're first time and you're needing to vibe them out, I think just getting drinks is fair as well.
Right.
Because you can also tell a few things. You can talk to them quite a bit and also see if they're an alcoholic.
Right.
You don't want to be dealing with an alcoholic, be like, oh my God, they just got shit-faced the first time I met them.
The next one on this is number 10, by the way. Mm-hmm. And how many do we have on our list? 3?
3. So far, it's just Chipotle, Your House, and fast food.
This is going to go up there too, and it's Wingstop. Wingstop is basically a fast food restaurant. By the way, they fucking suck.
Yes.
They're way overpriced, and their wings are fucking terrible.
I don't think I've ever been inside of. I didn't know you can be inside of a Wingstop. Yeah, I thought they were just ghost kitchens for DoorDash.
Yeah, it's like Jet's Pizza, dude. Like there's like 3 tables in there, and you can't like fucking sit down.
Yeah, who's doing that?
Yeah, so
of course it's on the list. All right.
Yeah, and by the way, it's fucking terrible. I don't know if you've ever had Wingstop. It's fucking terrible.
Maybe when I was drunk or something. That's something someone DoorDashes late at night.
Yeah. The next one goes along with Olive Garden, and the rest is Red Lobster. I think that's a step up from
Yes.
even Applebee's and Chipotle, or not Chipotle, but Chili's.
Yeah, because it ain't cheap.
Right.
It's.
I mean, I
seafood.
would never go there. I don't like seafood. So,
Yeah.
But again, the presentation is good. Like the people, like the wait. It's all about the wait staff, I think.
Yeah.
Like if they're dressed to like impress, it's a decent place to go.
Yeah, I think it's a fair place to go because you can, if you like seafood. Now, look, if you're looking for connoisseur seafood and everything, of course, yeah, that's not going to be the place to go. But if you don't want a fillet of fish and you want decent seafood, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That is perfectly fine. And again, you know the quality is going to be fine because it's a chain restaurant.
Right.
They have to have quality.
Right.
You know, they say, like, and I agree that this is true, that McDonald's food, while the food is not good for you, you're never going to have a bad quality McDonald's
unless
hamburger.
you just don't have meat on it. Like
Yeah, unless they do that. Because their
regulations, the standards.
their standards and regulations are so high because they're such a massive corporation. So if anything, that's a safe place to go because you know neither of you are really going to get sick.
Right. And how many times is there going to be a finger in your chili at like Wendy's? You know, it
Right.
happened once, and then the best time to get chili is probably the next day.
Absolutely.
But the next one I kind of agree with, unless you're, taking out my 600-pound life, is a buffet. Like you're not wanting to go to Golden Corral or a Chinese buffet or any kind of,
I'm going to be honest. If anybody is suggesting a buffet, whatever party in this date is suggesting a buffet to eat at, and you haven't met them in person and you're going off of just their pictures on, if you met them online, there's a good chance they're going to be a lot bigger in person.
Yeah,
than
they
what
probably
you see.
outweigh you.
Yes.
Right.
Like that's a red flag as far as, especially for online dating.
Yeah.
Because if they're just be like, I don't know if any place we go is going to be able to curb this appetite.
Right. Like, look, you look like Y2 Drew in your picture, but you show up looking like bitch tits.
Yeah.
It ain't going to work out.
That's happened to me. That has happened to me before. And I was so glad the first time we met up, I kept it light at a coffee shop. Because I just wanted to talk.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be like, hey, this is early on when I was doing online dating anyway. But I remember I met her and I was like, yeah, and she seemed fine in the pictures. And I remember I'm sitting there. I have a little cup of coffee. I'm sitting at the table. I see this girl walk in and I'm like, wait a minute.
Is that her?
Is that her? And she was much bigger. Big. And now, in all fairness, I sat there and we talked.
And you got some head after? And
No. We talked for a good hour plus. And I got a text from a friend that saying, hey, what are you doing? I'm doing this if you want to join. And I was like, yep, I'm going to join you. And then I left. But I was like, I left it very cordial. I was like, because I remember making this decision of like, this is not going to go anywhere beyond this.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep this conversation as nice, and maybe I'll have a friend out of this.
Right.
And then I got my out, and I took it, and I was gone.
Did she ever reach out after?
No.
Okay.
No, she knew. She kind of
She
figured.
knew.
You know if you're doing that. You can't lie that much if it's like that much of a difference.
Dude.
And this comes from me who used to also be fat.
Yeah.
So
dude, I saw episode of Catfish the other day. And this chick was not only using like super filters, but when they showed up at her house, she was a trans.
Oh, wow.
And she was fucking huge.
Jesus.
And she lived in like Arkansas or somewhere in the South that it's like not acceptable, probably not as acceptable to the rest of the country.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was a hoot.
I don't know what you're thinking doing that. Like,
No.
you're just going to be like, oh, let me trick you, and you're just going to fall in love with my personality. Like,
Right.
no, you're living in a delusional state.
That's what I do. I just trick them into liking me for my personality, not my looks. The next one, I've actually never been to an IHOP.
IHOP is not good. IHOP is...
Is IHOP on the list?
I would put IHOP on the list because even for diner food, you're better off going to like Coney Island or something like that, or whatever
And
they call it.
You can probably
where
put the next one on the list. We'll tag them together.
Yeah.
Denny's.
Yeah, Denny's is
I'm
up
not
there.
going to Denny's unless it's 3 a.m. and I get to hang out with fucking jelly butthole eating Ray.
And I'm gonna be honest. Even then, I'm kind of like, I'd rather just go to like that Coney Island that we have here with
Yeah.
the drive-through.
Right.
Like, I'd rather do that because the
Yeah.
quality of the food is way
Unless
better.
you see, fucking Chris Armageddon and
Yeah.
get to call him a word, and you got Ray eating jelly out of waitresses' assholes, and
Yeah.
whole mess of a night. Then Denny's ain't worth it.
If you're curious on what we're talking about, we have a whole episode about
We
it.
do.
Go back in the archives. It's something about Ray.
Is it called something about Ray?
I think
Everybody
Ray-
loves Ray.
Something like that. Ray is in the title. I just know that.
The next one actually.
Legend
Would-
of Ray?
The Legend of Ray. The next one is actually kind of a unique date.
Okay.
I would actually consider doing this, going to the gym.
You know what? That wouldn't be too bad. It depends on if both of you are gym goers, though.
Right.
Like if I am and she's not, then that's a little much.
But like, it doesn't even have to be like your guys are gym rats. So you could have
Yeah.
like a casual, like if you go
Oh,
like
yeah.
like a couple times a week or not even like a couple times a month, and they're like, hey, you work out. I'm trying to get back into it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fucking go to the gym.
That's a date where it's very situational on what you're on how you met and like the level of conversation you've had.
Right.
But that's not, you can't use that as just a blanket option.
Right.
That's a very specific thing. So if anybody is like, oh no, I do all my first dates at the gym, you're fucking retarded. I'm sorry.
Right.
I can't.
It-
That's
it-
dumb.
It would have to be probably like a Tinder profile or like
Yeah.
dating profile, and one of the pictures are either you at the gym or her at the gym,
Yeah.
or both. Maybe both you guys are at the gym, and like you're like, hey, like I need to get a workout in. Like, do you want to meet up and talk a little bit, and we can work
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, I do see that often about like girls will put on their profiles like, oh man, I like going to the gym and like, oh, looking for like a gym partner. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well,
Right.
if you find somebody that's like a gym rat, then that's a perfect way to have a first date with them. So I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't know if I put that on a list or not because it
I
could
would-
be good.
Yeah, I would leave that up because I would actually do that.
Yeah.
Like
that's
in the
not
right
bad.
situation, I would do that.
Yeah.
The next one is on the list,
Yeah.
100%. No one's taking a girl to church. Like, what?
Yeah.
A, you can't talk in church. You're just
Yeah.
gonna pray. B, how many people have you met in the last 10 to 15 years that are actually religious?
Not many.
Unless you're going to fucking christianmingle.com or whatever the fuck, Judate or Jdate.
Church, I put church up there as a date option like the movies. If you're two religious people and you like church or whatever, temple or mosque, whatever, however you say that, mosquing, if you like that, then that's like the thing. Maybe you meet up for a coffee, then you do your church thing, then you can talk about it
Yeah.
because that's what you're into. But
and
that's
like-
not like the only thing. Like, come to church with me. All right, I'll see you next time. We had a great time.
Or, a church group type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you go as like in like the little group and they have activities or whatever the fuck, like
Yeah.
maybe, but
Other than that, yeah, I'm not doing it. And if it's any other religion like Scientology, it's a scam. They're just trying to get you to join.
right. You're gonna be in a hot box for a couple days while they talk to you about your secrets.
Yes, we don't. That's unnecessary.
I was just telling somebody the other day about how they still search for you.
They do. I still get the letters.
But the next one is actually, we've actually already talked about this, and you've done it, and I guess I have done it, but I just don't like coffee. It'd be
Yeah.
Starbucks. Actually, the next two are Starbucks or coffee dates.
I think those are good. For again, it's time of day, and if we're doing a drink date,
Right.
because if it's early in the day, I'm not taking you to a bar.
Right, but like,
gonna take you to that.
specifically for this, this is good if you met online, you meet up, and if it goes bad quick,
Yeah.
it's a 15-minute date.
Right.
Like if you're like, how the large woman
Mm-hmm.
fucking showed up to you, like you could be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna have this coffee and fucking bounce. Like
Yeah.
it's a very easy out, and then it can also lead to a lot of other things like, oh, we had a great conversation this last hour. You want to go get something to eat? You want to go, fucking paintball each other?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah. I think that's a fine option.
Those are the next two, the Starbucks and coffee dates. I'm putting in that in
Nah,
one.
get out of here. Anybody that's bitching about that has never had to deal with this. Those are for dates that aren't like super romantic.
Right.
Casual
date. Like,
yeah,
let's get to know each other. And the next one falls into this too. I'll just throw it out there too. Is ice cream dates. Same fucking thing.
Yeah, it's the same concept.
It's like, hey, like
it's a summertime thing.
Let's get an ice cream. Let's walk by some water or in a park. Get to know each other.
Now, I understand though if you're bitching because you live in the Midwest. It's like January 15th, and you went to a Cold Stone. Yeah, that's probably not a great spot. But people aren't doing ice cream dates with just that. Yeah, it's an outdoorsy thing.
Right.
It's nice out. You walk, you eat ice cream, you feed ducks. I don't know.
Yeah.
You do something like that. I think the people are. That's actually a very low cost.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, what's the date for? The date isn't to go and give you a gift.
Right.
The idea of the date is to understand who you are.
Yep.
Like, am I ever going to want to spend time with you ever again?
Yep.
Or am I going to be repulsed by you? I don't know. This is how we figure it out.
And hey, if I'm repulsed by you, I can accidentally drop my ice cream cone and just leave.
Yeah. And maybe I'm also trying to figure out if there's going to be real love behind this, or if you're just trying to use me like a piece of meat.
Yeah. Do I have to go on the 64 bits of love or not?
Yes.
The next one I do agree with. It'll probably go on the list is family functions.
Yeah. No, that's not
weird.
Good. You don't want to do that.
You don't want to the first time. Like, I mean, the person that you bring to a family function could get like fucking hammered.
Yeah.
Could bring up old like ex type shit. Like, you don't know this person's history. Like, they could leave with your brother or cousin or whoever. Like, it's
the only caveat I'll give is a wedding, because it is an easy way to get a date where I'm like, I need a wedding date, and it costs you nothing.
Right.
You're not going to spend a lot of time with the family per se, because everybody's focusing on the bride and
Right.
groom. And oddly enough, a lot of girls do, at least from my experience, tend to be open to be like, oh, I'll go to a wedding.
I don't think I would take them to a family wedding, but if a friend got married,
oh, for sure,
that's
even more
for
so.
sure.
Yeah, even more so with that. Yeah.
The next one is it kind of ties in with some other ones. It's movie night, as far as like Netflix, Hulu, like Netflix and chill type shit.
Yeah, but that's just going to your house.
Right.
I have the same feeling on that. Like, what if I can't get rid of you?
Right.
So no, we're not doing movie night.
The next one is somewhere that requires a long drive.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
That's scary. I don't know. Yeah.
The only thing is if you have to meet, if you're meeting somewhere, like if it's, if you meet someone online, that lives an hour and a half away and you're meeting in the middle, I guess that would be one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're driving together
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, if our first date was, we lived near here, and I was like, hey, let's do a first date. Let's go to Frankenmuth.
Right.
I'm like, if some girl asked me that as a first date, I would say no, because that's too much. That's my whole day.
Yeah. And what if they like country or something and you're listening to that the whole fucking time?
And
Like,
I'm
get
gonna
the
be
fuck
honest,
outta
I don't like Frankenmuth. I'm over it. Oh, I get to eat endless chicken.
here. Yeah, and it's not even
Cool.
that great.
It's overpriced, knickknacks.
The next one I strongly disagree with is bowling. I think bowling's a great
I think that's
first
a
date
fair one.
because
That's very
it's,
fair.
It's an activity.
Yeah. I wouldn't put that on the list.
You can drink, and it's something that you can like friendly compete on. Like you
Yeah.
can, if I strike, give me a kiss. Stupid shit like that.
I honestly think bowling, you want to have like the real test, the best, and I'm going to put this to the test, because I think the best first date, bang for your buck, and you can exit anytime you want, but if it's going well, you can keep stretching it out. You do a light dinner at one of these places that we've approved.
Yes.
Maybe you don't want to go all out with like an Olive Garden. That might be too much. Maybe this is more of like a Chili's type of start off, but even whatever. You do a light dinner of one of these approved places. You do a movie, simple movie. You're not watching like a 3.5 hour Martin Scorsese thing.
Right.
You're watching something that's an hour and a half. And then you're like bowling, because now you get your drinks and you're doing an activity,
Yeah.
and you can talk
Right.
as well and there's other stuff going on.
And bowling, I think, is like the perfect thing, or like, you know, bowling or like putt-putt golf's not on here, but like
That's
something
an
like
easy one,
that.
yeah.
Like something that you can easily like flirt with.
Yes.
You know, like, you know, you can talk a little shit, you can flirt, you can do whatever, and it makes both parties comfortable.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fine one. In fact, that's next date I'm gonna do is bowling.
Sweet.
So if anybody knows any single ladies out there
That like the bowl.
that like to bowl, no, they don't have to like it. They just know that if you want to get with this, you're gonna have to bowl.
And you can get a nice clear picture of their ass every time they go up the bowl.
You could
You
could see that.
I'm an ass guy. Fucking,
yeah, all right, that's
perfect.
fair. That's fair.
The next one I somewhat agree with. It's just tough. Would be a nightclub.
Yeah, no.
Like
I
unless
wouldn't
you're
do that.
like super down to like fucking dance or some shit, but like
You don't want a nightclub for a couple reasons. So one being
fucking the situation stealing your girl.
there's that. You don't want because now there's an opportunity where you can lose her to somebody else. If you're gonna go for drinks after one of these other activities, you go to a place you can talk. You can't talk at a nightclub.
Right.
So nightclubs are there to meet other people.
Yep.
So if you're bringing them there on a first date, you're both acknowledging the fact that we're still keeping our options
Yeah.
open. Like nobody wants to admit that.
Yeah, someone's gonna commit the robbery and you're not gonna leave happy.
Yeah.
And especially if you like pick that person up, like that other person could just fucking take them home.
Yep.
So yeah, nightclubs on the list. The next one, for the younger folks, hookah bars, which I get it,
yeah.
but like some of them, like the ones I used to go to was very like just like it looked like a lobby of a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, I think they're more like not clubby, but like more like a bar
Yeah.
atmosphere. And I think that'd be okay. Like, oh, you want to go smoke hookah? We can chill on a fucking leather couch, watch TV, smoke, and conversate.
Yeah.
I think that's all right.
No, I don't think that's bad. Again, it's not it can't be the sole destination. That's the biggest issue with all these. They're not the sole destination. They have to be in addition to something.
So the next one, I don't know how this is on the list because 90% of my fucking first dates were this, is a bar for just drinks.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like, again, it's like the coffee shop. You can weed them out quickly.
Yep.
But this time you get liquid courage. You
Yep.
start opening up. If you're nervous at all, you know, you got that alcohol right there. You can take some shots to loosen up, start to get to know each other,
Yep.
start making out, feel each other up on the fucking bar stool.
Yep.
Like, you know, fucking lift her up on, put her ass on the bar and just banging her.
Yeah.
Whatever. If they have a celebration room, take her in the celebration room.
Do that. Exactly. And then you can just don't take them home because they might not leave.
Yeah.
If you take them to your home.
Or you get a Ferguson and you know when they like they're super quiet and then they fucking drink like 17 fucking doubles and just start whoring out and being really really weird.
That person's got a lot of demons they're trying to fucking I can only imagine the insanity that's going behind those empty eyes.
Dark eyes, those Jaws eyes.
Yeah.
The next one is Waffle House. I'd put that up with fucking like
Well, yeah, that's like an IHOP.
Yeah.
That's up there with IHOP.
But the last one on the list is and I'm not sure how I feel about it because I've never done this, but it can nowadays especially it can be very expensive, is a sporting event.
True. You want to go on like an easy one, like a weekday ball game.
Right, because you're paying for parking, you're
Right.
paying for the tickets, all the drinks are there, probably $10.
Yeah.
And the sporting event's hard because you're not only paying for the upfront stuff, but you can't seem cheap too. Like you can't like if a girl wants a drink and you're like, fuck, I'm gonna spend $12 on this drink for her.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking level it up, dude.
Yeah, well, there's that. There's also the fact that I'm not a sports guy.
Right.
So for the most part, I'm not going to give a shit about, I'm only doing this because they want to do it.
Right.
Again, this is not something you do on its own. You have to follow it up with like, okay, if you want to talk about it, it's like goes with church or
Right.
movies. Like it's like, you could do that in addition to other things, but It is. It's very expensive.
Yeah, I think
I'm surprised that was put on the list, to be honest with you.
I think that would be a good 2nd through 5th date.
True. Yes.
Like, we hit it off the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you like sports? Or, oh, would you like to, like a lot of girls don't like sports, but they like going to the games.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's, and at that point, you've already kind of, if they're willing to go out with you again, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of already impressed them. You don't have to spend as much, maybe even they're willing to maybe buy you a drink this time or whatever, maybe reciprocate a little bit. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely. I would more so say like. Here's the problem with a sporting event too: is they can go long. Mm-hmm. You talk about like a movie can go too long, but usually it's less than 3 hours for sure. Like most of the time it's like maybe 2 or something.
Right.
So you have a small amount of time there. Even a concert, like. Yeah, there's opening acts and stuff like that, but if you time it right, if you're getting something beforehand, you can miss some of the opening acts. So then you get there for the live performance. It's only like an hour and a half. Then you're out and you're done. But a sporting event is like, football can go long.
Right. Yeah, you're talking about like
baseball,
3+ hours.
Yeah, that can go long. Hockey, maybe. I don't know what the average hockey game is.
Well, they sped up baseball too, so now it's like 2.5 hours.
Okay,
because they put a pitch clock on there, so like they have to pitch within like 15 seconds of every time they get the ball back. So it does speed it up a little bit, but yeah, I think that would be a good 2nd to 5th date. You go, maybe go get a light dinner before, like per usual. Then at least you don't have to eat at the ballpark. You can maybe get a snack that's a little cheaper, and
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's a fair date.
So there was 28 things on that list. So what is on our list? How many?
Our list has got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we cut half of it out.
Yeah.
So this is official. So if you want to like save yourself the time of having to skim through all this stuff on these articles, here's all you need to know. This is the following list of what you don't do on a first date. First date.
Listen to Corpse Smoke.
You don't do that. Don't put I'm going to tell you something. If you want to set yourself up for failure on a first date, you pick them up in your car. You don't clean out your car. Leave as much trash and garbage in there as possible.
Yep. You do the Mario test.
Yeah. Do the Mario test. See if they're going to unlock your car door.
That's the other test.
Oh, wait,
Mario
what's the Mario
test
one?
is you go on the highway,
you
get up
that's
next to
right.
a trucker, and you push her down on your dick to see if she sucks it. And if she does, she's a whore.
Even better. So have the inside of your car completely trashed. Okay? And if you're like, my car isn't that bad, stop at a McDonald's or even better, a White Castle because it has more smell. And then when you eat a few of those burgers and just throw the empty boxes in the floor. And then pick them up, put Corpse Smoke on and say, bro, listen to this. Crank it so they can't.
Maybe that I Raped Her song.
Yeah. Yes, that one. Something long, and just turn it up so it's too loud for them to talk over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you when you're riding with someone and you're like, oh, okay, I get the vibe. They don't want to talk because the music's a little too loud.
Yeah.
Do that.
And if they start talking, just be like, hush, 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 hush. No.
Listen, you're not listening to the lyrics here. And then start by taking them to a Chipotle. Follow that up with maybe either going to church or a sporting event.
That's going to really fuck them up if you go to church after that, after you make them listen to Corpse Smoke.
Yeah. You can do church or a sporting event. I suggest church. This is if you really want to kamikaze this thing. And then, or a family function.
Yeah.
Take him to like a I don't know.
Grandma's 60th birthday, 70th
like
birthday.
If you have like a nephew or niece or cousin that's getting a communion or something, go take them to that. And then and make sure that if you go to like that family function or if you go to that church, it's like an hour drive to get there. And make sure they listen to Corpse Smoke the entire time. Then if you're like, hey, let's go get drinks, take them to a nightclub.
Yep.
Or your home.
Yeah.
That's the best worst first date experience you can provide for somebody. And I'm going to tell you this, though. I actually suggest people do this because if that person that you're taking out on that date, man or woman, still wants to be with you after all of that, you've found true love.
It's true love.
That there's nothing more, there's not a truer love out there that you're ever going to find.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I mean, if a girl is willing to stick out the whole night
Yeah.
and, not complain once, she's either being kidnapped
Yep.
or she's the love of your life.
I'm thinking that's the love you need. But I still would be hesitant to bring them to your home, though, because you just don't know yet. It's still too early.
Well, if they're tied up, that's fine.
That's true.
I mean, where are they going to go?
They can't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you can't leave. That's what you say to them, too. Now you can't leave.
Yep. Maybe blindfold them and just whisper stuff in their ear maybe 45 minutes. Like just one sentence
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah. And so just kind of like pet the back of their head like a dog or a cat and just be like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Maybe get like a shower chair and sit her in the shower and just have the water.
Just waterboard them?
Yes.
You're just going to waterboard them after all of that?
Hey, if they stick it out.
Yeah.
You can probably get married within a week.
Set a timer so you don't forget. And then after you're done, be like, all right, this is a great first date. I don't know if you'd like to do this again. If they're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then you've met the one.
Maybe make some pizza rolls.
Yeah.
And make them eat it before it, when it's too hot. You
Yeah,
have to kind of bite a corner and have it steam out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just burn their tongue on some cheese.
You'll never find, that's how you find who you're going to marry.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how I found mine.
But if you want to play it safe, go to any of the other 14 that we didn't put on this list.
Yeah.
Because Olive Garden and all that is just fine. It's safe. If you don't want to, really, you're not committed and you're not a risk taker.
Right.
Just go do that.
I mean, I don't see how you can fail.
No, I don't.
Unless you just suck at life.
So that's my goal. That's my goal coming up here because as a single man, I am ready to get back out there. And you know what? We're going to have just an amazing series of first dates.
Yeah.
And I have so many different options.
You have 14.
Yeah. And we're going to do all
Plus
of them.
the waterboarding shit that we just tried.
That's my go-to. If I'm really vibing, then we're going straight to waterboarding.
Dude.
That's what we're going to do.
I've never had it miss. Just saying.
Yeah. It's perfect.
100%.
Perfect.
Well, 0 for 0. But it's never missed.
It can't miss.
And make sure the water's not too hot or
No,
too
you don't
cold.
want to do that.
You want it room temperature.
Yeah. You're not. And the idea is not to drown them. It's just to simulate the fact that they're drowning.
Yeah. Just spray it on their forehead.
Yeah. Just do that.
Get them used to it.
So
let them watch.
So I don't know if you're sitting there taking notes. I'm sure you got a whole book full of them. Put this into your everyday practice, and you'll do well. And you won't ever have to worry about being lonely again.
Nope.
And you won't get caught up in having to sign some strange sexual contract.
No. Yeah.
So you'll be in good shape.
And you know what's right around the corner? This Christmas,
true.
I gave you my heart. The very next day, you gave it away. This year is another day. I'm gonna waterboard someone special.
Yeah, that's what you don't want to be alone for Christmas.
Yeah, you don't. It's
time of the
cuffing
year.
season.
It is.
So get those fucking cuffs out. And fucking cuff them to the chair.
Who's ready to be cuffed and waterboarded?
Waterboarded and, taken to a Chipotle so they can blow out their ass in the fucking shower. But anyway, watch out for the 64-bit Legends Rumbles right around the corner.
Yes.
You're going to be seeing bigger, better, and badder competitors. I don't know what else I was going to say.
There's big stuff.
There's big stuff coming on.
It's all big.
Twitch.tv/Melvin Troy.
Yep.
64-bit Legends all over social media. But until next time, I am Bobby Caboose. This is Melvin Troy. And what you going to do, brother? when a chick is in your shower getting waterboarded and you want to take her out on a second date, but she doesn't want to go, so you don't let her leave, and then she moves into your house, but it's more of a captivity because she can't leave, and she is trying to call the cops, but you took away her phone, so you start texting people just to make sure they think she's still alive. What you gonna do? Take her to a sporting event. That's what you're gonna do.